Good day to you. Today I want to look at Simon Peter and how the Lord recovers him and how we each have a passion and a purpose for our own thing, and until that passion and purpose, desire we have for our own thing goes down, we will not serve the Lord's purpose. So it is good to check out even today whom we really serve, what we really serve. The Lord said in Matthew 20:28, I came not to be served but to serve. And in John 13 on the final night, the Lord said, if I, your Lord and Master, have done this, so you ought to serve one another. And then Simon Peter still had his former greatness in his mind even after Jesus' resurrection. We know they were all scared and they were hiding in that upper room that the Lord had provided, and the Lord came through the closed door and encouraged them, and they were encouraged. But in John 21, we find after these things Jesus manifested himself again to the disciples at the Sea of Tiberias. He manifested himself. Simon Peter and Thomas, called Didymus, and Nathanael of Cana, sons of Zebedee, and two others of his disciples were together. Why were they together in the boat again? Simon wanted to go back to his own greatness. He still had memories of how great a fisherman he was, how great a captain he was of the fishing trawler when he had denied the Lord and seemingly failed in the commission the Lord had to him. He needed a little build up his own self-image, is my explanation, why he said, let's go fishing. Simon Peter said to them, I am going fishing. That's what he was great at. That was his acclamation. They said to him, we will come with you, because he was a born leader. They went out and got into the boat, and that night they caught nothing. Simon enacted the same caught nothing, just the way it was when he first met Christ in the sea, at the Sea of Galilee, and received this call. So Jesus comes and gets him to do the same thing, to cast the net again, cast the net on the right hand side, just the way he told in Luke chapter 5. He repeats the scene and they get a great catch of fish. It is interesting that Peter recognized the Lord only at that time, and it is the Lord. So when Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put John recognized that it was the Lord, and then Peter then only realized it's the Lord, and then he put on his garments, because he was back to his fishing greatness. He was in his undergarments doing the fishing thing, but he quickly jumped into the water so that his nakedness will not be seen, and cloaked himself. But others were still dragging the full net. They even counted the number of fish and said 153, because they probably thought, if we are not going to be successful in Jesus' commission, we better keep the fish to be successful with. It said there were 153. 21:11, John, Simon Peter went up and drew the net to land, full of large fish, 153. So seemingly they counted, and although there were so many, the net was not torn. But it is at this time the Lord Jesus called him again and said, Simon, do you love me? He said, yes, Lord. And the word Lord used was agape. Then the Lord asked another time, Simon, do you love me? And the Lord's standard of that love was that he will feed his sheep, and said, feed my sheep. Third time, the Lord Jesus reduced the Greek and said, Simon, do you phileo me? It was less than agape love. The first two times it was, do you agape me? Do you agape me? Third time it was, phileo me, do you love me? Then the Lord said, feed my little lambs. Then Simon was grieved that the Lord had asked him a third time, but it was grief for good. He really realized that he had denied the Lord 3 times, and the Lord in his wisdom got him to affirm 3 times, And he said, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. He said to him, shepherd my sheep, tend my sheep. 21:16. Then the Lord pitched the call again. 21:17 of John. He said to him the third time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Do you love me more than all this? He showed probably the great catch of fish and said, do you love me more than all this? And so Simon was reaffirmed and he began the call. So my point I am making is, just check out in your life how many things crowd your life. When our desires, our futures, our ambitions, our other passions take up most of our life and energy, our pursuits, they wear us out. There's a cost in serving the Lord. And there is a cost we have to pay with time, affection, devotion, and all that will be compromised when we have other priorities. Check out whether you are really serving the Lord, whether you are serving yourself, your future, and your children's future. This is a real litmus test. Would you serve the Lord at the cost? His call calls. So we know the statement the Lord said, many are called, few are chosen. So what happens? After being called, what we do, choose our affection. What we do, choose our priorities. Our choices choose us. So make sure when God has called us, our choice is that we give Him first choice, first preference. He is always priority. God bless you. God help you. I am Dr. Lalith Mendis. We all struggle with these things, but we need to have clarity in our call. If you need any more of this spirituality, reason and science clips, please send me a WhatsApp to +94 74 211 5011. You also can download my app Golden Nuggets from Google or from App Store. God bless you.